this box is a very little vacuum cleaner. We have this lovely Electrolux Tango. And a Tango is a little bit dear to my heart because not this colour or era, although it was a 1300 watts. We had a green one. Tango logo was down there. Still the same machine itself. This one has come from another collector. It's making a funny sound. So we're going to have a look and see if it's a catastrophic funny sound or one that can be either fixed or ignored. Let's have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and Electrolux chums. How are you today? We have a Z1661 from presumably the 1990s of some era. This body style was so long-lived. It started with the light back in the 1980s as the replacement for the Slimline, I think, and then they just bashed it up as Tango. I've had a Bolero, one of these, and they just ran forever and ever. They are fantastic little cleaners, really. If you just needed a simple straight suction machine, they probably are all you need. This one, however, sounds a little bit poorly. On the video that I was sent, it certainly had a noise to it. If we stick it in max, it runs really well. But hear that metallic-y sort of scraping sound? Almost that, although it was being quite metallic-y scraping on, wow, that's dangerous, on camera. So, what we're going to do is take off the lid, remove the brand new, although paper bag. You can get nice Hepaflow style bags for these, which do stop that from happening. Then we have our little post motor filter. And the Miele, of course, best filters to use. There's no chunks of metal or anything on there. So the next thing we need to do is to find my security Torx bits out and remove things. Okay, the first two screws that we will remove are for the speed control. And as I pull up on said speed control, I'm hoping that the little latch, there we go, this is going to come with us. It is. Excellente. So that can go there. That's your spring for everything else. Then there's this piece of plastic. I think, yeah, that does come out. Then there is, I don't think we need to take all of this out, but I will just to show you, and because I want to lift the top off and I don't want any wires to get caught. Then there's two screws here, and then two screws here, three screws here. Come on, don't stay in there because you'll just scatter when I lift the top off. And all these screws are the same size, so you do not need to worry about that. And then we can, yeah, I'm going to have to remove all of this. Is going to have to be lifted out. So out it comes. It should all drop back in the same way, because then I think I can just feed it all through here. There we go. And get that out of the way. And we can see literally motor, cord reel, bag. Nothing has changed in years. And this motor itself is ye standard Lux motor, although of the plastic variety. Right, if we take out, this hasn't got a suppressor on it either. Very nice indeed. Oh, take this out. Put that to one side. And we can see if we can spot anything, because the problem is, again, it's a riveted fan, so there's not a lot we can do there. Nothing's particularly loose. It is very, very dusty though. We can take the screws off the top. I think, yeah, I don't know really. We might take the top end apart and give it a little bit of a clean up, and perhaps clean up some of this machine as we go. But, you know, there's no bits of metal caught in there, which is what I feared. Probably just dry bearings, sadly. This machine has seen some use. Can we pop the carbons off? Oh, ish, but then they're all, I've got to unpick the 4 little metal tabs. So first let's clean all this dust off. And with the back door open, we shall use my blower, which is a 1950s paint sprayer with a Dyson 1600 watt compatible motor fitted, and it moves some air. And make very light work of blowing off that fine layer of dust. Right, let me come back when we're about to take the top off of the motor. And then one last screw, and hopefully something will come apart. What's going to give first, the bearing or the coil? Everything, marvellous. Oh, I think that's quite dry. The problem is, as you're about to see, the bearing is buried right down in there. And here's, they're sealed bearings as well. That's a pain. Yeah, later motors have a sealed bearing. That doesn't mean, though, that we're not going to drip a load of very thin, light oil into it in order to just capillary in and hopefully do something, because I think that's all that noise is. I don't think there's anything physically wrong with the motor. There's nothing, you would hear it now if there was. I think it's okay, it's just a little bit used. Let's blow this dust out and then I'll get it back together, put it back into the machine, and we'll see if it sounds any better. We're all back together. I spent the time to just wipe every mating surface down as I went, and well, still run. But it still has a little bit of that noise. I think the oil has penetrated those sealed bearings as much as it can. There's not really a lot I can do. This video is sort of just turning into a how to take your Electrolux Tango Bolero apart to check the motor, because you never know, there could have been something metallic rattling around in there. It sounded like that on the phone video that I heard of it, but I think that was just exaggerating the sound of what is just really dry bearings in a motor that sadly you cannot take apart. At least here in the UK. I know in South Africa you could, because I have a collector friend over there who repairs vacuum cleaners, and yeah, they've got normal nut and bolts, so you could do a bearing on them. These ones, no chance. I am going to send this back with a very minimal charge, because the owner's having to pay postage both ways, and say it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. Just enjoy it. It might quieten down now I put some oil on it. But do you have one of these lovely little Electrolux cylinders? If so, what do you make of it? I have neglected to mention that you do get onboard tools, and that is a crevice tool that has not seen much use at all. Very nice. It is missing a little upholstery tool though. I've had this in, well, if you're a vacuum collector, you've got that box in your shed that has just all the tools for machines that you don't own, but you know what they go to. Well, this is the very specific sized upholstery tool that fits in there. So yeah, you didn't get a dusting brush, you just got these two. So I may as well go back with the machine, and it can have a home, because I don't own a light. Chances of me having one are quite slim, because it would have to be quite cheap for me to want one. You know, I've used quite a lot of them. We've seen quite a lot of the channel. They are very good, but very boring. But this one is very colourful, and I think it's going to work fine. So thank you for watching this little investigation, and nothing really wrong with it video. They happen from time to time. You do always have to check. I just have visions of there being a little bit of crap in there that was just bouncing around the fan, ready to really knock it off and kill the motor. But no, she's fine. Back home it goes. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And I and some other Luton lovely, yeah, it's still barely Luton at this point. We'll see you soon. That's only because this was designed in the 80s when it was Luton. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.